This has been a long and hard-fought trial. The department is proud of this team, not only for this trial, but for the investigation which led to it. This investigation continues, as does our commitment to holding elected officials accountable when they violate our laws. Thank you.
The government's ill-gotten verdict in the case not only cost that public official his bid for re-election, the results of that election tipped the balance of the power in the United States Senate. Judge Sullivan linked the government's actions to this case, its stance concerning terrorism suspects being held by the U.S. military in Guantanamo Bay. Whether you are a public official or a private citizen or a Guantanamo Bay detainee, the judge said the government has an obligation to produce exculpatory evidence. In nearly 25 years on the bench, I've never seen anything approaching the mishandling and misconduct I have seen. Stolen election, terrorism, exculpatory evidence, mishandling, misconduct. Sound familiar? Remember Ted Stevens.
Justice Department here in Washington has just released
video.
January 6th.
The Justice Department on Friday releasing video.
Ryan, tell us what we're seeing now.
Well, if it seems with each passing day, the Department of Justice releasing video that is even more shocking than the video we've already seen.
The Justice Department on Friday releasing video of officers being brutally beaten by Capitol rioters while trying to help someone who had collapsed.
What happened here on January 6th. This particular video shows a police officer who actually had gone into the mob to try and help a woman who had died of an apparent drug overdose.
It shows.
If you've done the work that M5 News has, you'll find things like this in videos. Why is their face covered up in black? And the evidence that follows.
It shows officers in a tunnel.
Here you see McAbee to the left. He drops the baton, blocks the punches from the police officers. There you see the baton dropping on the ground. He makes his way to Officer A.W. Mullins is grabbing the leg of Officer A.W., getting ready to pull on it, where you see an officer at the bottom of the screen by the collar of A.W., fixing to pull on him. At no time does McAbee pull Officer A.W. into the crowd, or the terrorists, as Judge Sullivan puts it. Now as he gets ready to grab a hold of him, Mullins already pulling on Officer A.W. out of the grasp right there of the other officer. A.W. is pulled by Mullins, not McAbee. McAbee now is reaching and pointing towards Roseanne. See him pointing towards Roseanne? He's grabbing for Roseanne. Now the officer here starts to pull on A.W. again, which pulls him into McAbee. McAbee is being sprayed right now. See him? He's still trying to reach for Roseanne and help her. That cop is moving A.W. towards the police, knocking McAbee off balance. McAbee's being sprayed right now. McAbee points, telling them to stop. He's trying to save a woman.
By his helmet into the crowd.
Before this, Shane Jenkins stood next to Victoria White, and he himself was hit in the head by the same captain that turned his attention to Victoria and viciously beat her. This was not the first time that day when he witnessed police officers hitting women in the head with sticks and batons. This is the moment when Shane Jenkins witnessed Officer A.W. kick Roseanne's legs out of the way. Notice Officer A.W. reached down and pushed the guy in the backpack out of the way. Watch how far forward he goes. Then watch A.W.'s right leg come back after kicking Roseanne's legs out of the way.
It shows officers in a tunnel trying to make their way to a rioter who was later found to have died of a drug overdose.
Save her life, please!
It shows officers in a tunnel trying to make their way to a rioter who was later found to have died of a drug overdose. One appears to be dragged by his helmet into the crowd.
This is Colt, otherwise known as Ronald McAbee, who Judge Sullivan called a terrorist in his courtroom. But how would Judge Sullivan know if exculpatory evidence is being hidden by the government counsel? Now the gentleman in the gray hoodie that just stepped over the handrail comes down to grab the other leg of AW to pull him down along with McAbee. Here's where the judge says McAbee was a terrorist and the violent mob was terrorists. But the prosecutors did not play the audio of AW and McAbee talking during this point. McAbee's trying to save AW. Prosecutors didn't play that in court. Would you like to hear that?